Hi friends, it's Angie, Angela Power Disney, doing an update like I used to do, a monthly update for my GoFundMe and for Facebook, and it was something I always tried to do. Today's the 31st of January 2021, and so I'm going to do that. And what it is it's things that really are worthy of a video in themselves, with evidence and screen sharing and so on, but I just feel the need to catch people up, especially those that are really supportive and long-term subscribers and followers. So I've made a list, and in an ideal world I'll enlarge on these issues, but let me just go through this to catch people up. So the first thing is Tim Tate, and this should interest, and I should share it with the brother of Dave McGowan. He's deceased, sadly. He's the author. He was an incredible truther from Los Angeles, and he's the author of books like Programmed to Kill and Weird Scenes in the Canyon. And he was just a builder with daughters, and a lovely guy, and just started blogging and writing about anomalies in Los Angeles, in the music industry and in the Canyon and Hollywood. And sadly he met a very suspicious death. But his brother contacted me maybe a year and a half ago and said, look, you know, you seem to be doing good work. I've got PDFs of 2 very rare books. One is about a couple $100 online if you can get it. The other is almost, you know, out of print, but if you find one it's about $500. But I've got PDFs, would you like them? So I very happily agreed to go ahead and do audio readings of these books, Cover Up of the Century, from the 80s, and focusing on things like the Franklin cover-up, and Children for the Devil, which was by a British author who I think was co-narrating on A Conspiracy of Silence, I think it was a Channel 4 documentary that got killed at the last minute. The night before it was due to be broadcast, it was suppressed. So according to Dave McGowan's brother, he had made every effort to contact the authors without success. He'd worked with the publishers and tried every way he knew how to contact the authors and say, look, can we get your books back in print, or what's going on? And since I originally did audio versions on my main YouTube channel, which was nuked in one of the censorship purges by YouTube, and it's now on an associate channel, not my channel, as is both books, both audio readings with my commentary are on an associate channel. But when I said to this brother of Dave McGowan, you know, what about copyright? He said, look, I've made every good faith attempt to contact the authors. I have transcribed and Americanized the original versions, and if there's any copyright issues, I'll take the heat for that. And I got that all in emails. And then I do ask people to support my work, and I just said, you know, that Craig spent, you know, dozens of hours transcribing this and Americanizing it, and I'm spending hours audio reading it. So if you want to contribute to our efforts, that would be much appreciated. I just want to be clear that the total donations in appreciation of those rare books being put online was €55. So somebody in Canada donated 50 Canadian dollars, which turned out to be €33. And somebody recently, who may be guilty of entrapment, I don't know, donated 12 and said, how can I donate to Tim Tate? And I said, I'd absolutely love it if you could, but he's nowhere to be found. So then this Miguel messaged back and said, oh, he's got a Twitter page. And I checked out the Twitter, and this Tim Tate Books profile recently started following me on Twitter. And to me, it doesn't look a very authentic page. I should share this in a longer video. Then I get a message saying, take down my books immediately or I'll take copyright action against you. And I said, I'll be happy to do that if you'll do a face-to-face Zoom connection to confirm that it's you requesting that, because the Tim Tate that represents himself in his work would be delighted to get the truth out there. So that's where we're at. I think I should actually say go ahead. I mean, I'll need to talk to the to Dave McGowan's brother and just ask him what he thinks, but I think it would be great publicity to resurrect Tim Tate's work on A Conspiracy of Silence and Children for the Devil. So that's that briefly. Facebook, yeah, I just watched Donut, a YouTuber, and he was talking about, you know, his outrage at his 10-year-old Facebook profile being taken down with family photos, family videos, business connections, business pages, and so on, and no opportunity to save it. And the same, it's heartbreaking to me because I'm being contacted by survivors, a lot of whom are my demographic, survivors of child sexual abuse or satanic ritual abuse and so on, MK Ultra, and sadly some of them think that I blocked them. They don't realise that both my Angela Power Disney and my Anti-Power Disney Facebook pages of years and years standing in multiple groups and thousands of followers and millions of engagements, they don't realise they were just censored just into oblivion. And although when Facebook announced to me, you know, your account's been disabled, in one they quoted that I had covered in my journalism dangerous terrorists like 76-year-old Sabine McNeill and T.R. Tommy Robinson, and you know, just I think the other page went down because I shared some footage of the protest of about 1 million people on January the 6th in Washington DC. So I shared some really excellent camera work by Jason Burmas, without commentary, you know, I'm just shared it. So that was my 2 Facebook profiles gone. And when they say to you, your page has been disabled, they give you an opportunity to download your history. But what they don't explain is that in order to then it's when you press download, it says we're creating a file for you, check back and you'll be able to, you know, download it. But you can't check back, because when you go to log in to download your file of years and years and years, including for me things like my niece's wedding live streamed, my mother's funeral, you know, things irreplaceable. You know, if as a journalist and a published writer, I never would have trusted Facebook as a platform if I thought that they could just nuke a decade's work at will, you know, just appalling. It's book burning. It's modern day book burning. It's just horrific. So that's what's happened. I've managed to put up a 3rd profile on Facebook just for the point of staying in touch with family and close friends, and I'm no longer using that for journalism or activism, you know, so shame on them. Hampstead, okay, so I don't know how many of you caught up with the fact that most of my videos, I was also nuked off YouTube, my 12-year platform with 500 videos and you know, vast amounts of research and evidence. The evidence I've lost on my Facebook is off the charts. Survivors disclosing to me in private via messenger for years, absolutely years. And I'm going to try and marshal, you know, the will and the energy to go to Facebook European headquarters, which is here in Ireland. Yeah, technically I should wait till after lockdown, somewhere around March the 5th or 8th, but just to go to them and say, you just can't destroy records like this. It's just unethical. It's outrageous. The very least, I want to retrieve my data, you know. So Hampstead, yeah, most of, say, out of the 500 videos, probably 490 were backed up and are being re-uploaded on an associate channel, not run by myself, called Archives of Truth, but very important. And the person running that channel is very methodical and is organising. So we've already released, for instance, 12 videos of the Sabine McNeill archives, and then there's a Jake Clark archives, Rupert Quaintance archives, and the most recent release is a more accurate translation of the Russian grandparents being interviewed shortly after Ella fled the country, about their grandchildren and about the situation. And because my assistant is Lithuanian and speaks fluent Russian, he was able to do a much more accurate translation. So that's up on my YouTube channel. This is it. Click watch on YouTube. If you go to the top right hand corner, there'll be an option to watch on YouTube, and then if you have a channel there, just even a viewing channel, you know, subscribe and like and press the notifications bell or whatever. And that's one of the latest videos. I'll share that in a blog. So that's it. The thing I'm excited about as well, if I can pace myself, is we have re-accessed the original disclosure videos of the Hampstead children from 2014, which mostly have been scrubbed from the net. Most people can access the police interviews, which are damning enough in themselves, but to me, the original disclosure videos in Morocco, at the airport, with Jean Clement, with Finbar and Abraham, these are the raw evidence which has been hard to find on the net. So we're re-uploading those, and I hope to be able to do commentaries on those as well. Anke Hill, I'm slightly concerned. Anke Hill is the German vet mother of the boy in the Wilfred Wong case, originally reported as an abduction of a child at knife point, you know, and then resulted in somebody, one of the original 6 arrested, being found dead in prison in HMP Berwyn with a plastic bag over his head. Suicide by carrier bag, to me, is a stretch, and I was quite alarmed. I will make myself do a focused video on John Wedger with Sean Atwood, implying that Robert Frith committed suicide because he'd compromised Wilfred Wong and Anke Hill. Dead men can't speak. I found that chilling, the way that John Wedger implied Robert Frith was the weakest link. I'll share that. I can't answer this right now. Who's phoning me? Oh, just a second. Hello? Hello? I'm going to pause, guys. Am I still recording? Stop share. Right. I'm still recording. Let me just pause because my son is phoning me. Okay, we're recording again. And everything's fine. Sorry about that, guys. So, I don't know why we're going back to share screen. What were we sharing? maybe nothing. Right, stop share. Okay, so Anke Hill. So yeah, I was very disturbed to see John Wedger in the interview. I hope somebody's downloaded this, but I'm sure it will stay up for a while. In the interview with Sean Atwood, implying that Robert Frith was the leak. Just wonder if there's any evidence for that. Or was it just deflection? I don't know. It was very sinister to me. Yeah. Sharon Gale, what can I say? I will not be gaslit. I'm very clear that Sharon is responsible for her life and her live streams, especially the extremely drunk ones, and her abuse of other truth seekers and YouTubers, including myself. So rather than Sharon obsessing about one alleged comment about the possibility of her baby being exhumed, I would suggest that Sharon address the issues as a public figure who is calling out other people every live stream, address the issues of how her 10-week-old baby died with 32 fractures, a brain injury and a dislodged behind the eye thing. Sharon alleges vaccine damage, which is quite plausible, but does not address the fact that the judge said this baby has without doubt been abused. So there are three possibilities: the father, Sharon's ex-husband, Sharon herself, which I actually don't think she's guilty of, or medical staff while the child was hospitalised. The baby was in and out of hospital for 10 days before dying after having had a massive vaccination regime inflicted. The truth is in there somewhere, but deflecting and obsessing about they want to take my baby up, who does that, address the real issues, Sharon. You know, are you in a domestic violence relationship now, or was that a game? Was your husband, the father of baby Charlotte, violent? Did you cover up for that? Did you manage to muddy the waters enough with the vaccine damage that the violence wasn't addressed? You know, was it a case of you married Charlotte's dad after the death and therefore couldn't testify against him? You know, are you the epitome of a codependent DV survivor, enabler? I don't know. I want to think the best, but you're not addressing the real issues. You're just, you know, carrying sympathy and all about you, and it's really not. You know, just trying to think if there's anything else. The issue of the baby, the issue of the injuries. Even 32 fractures in a baby can hardly be excused, even with CPR, you know, resuscitation attempts. You don't get 32 fractures, I don't think, in those circumstances. I do know mothers that have won court cases where they were accused of multiple fracture abuses against babies, and it turned out to be a genetic fragile bone condition, and I'm perfectly open to you sobering up, separating from the paedophile and paedophile protecting trolls that you've made your inner circle, and you know, addressing the real issues. I'm not willing to hear you keep being abusive about gaslighting like myself, Brian Harvey, Nikki Cooper, Tiana and Barbara O'Hare. This is what it looks like, this is the damage they do, this is the cyberbullying, I'm broken. No, Your life's been a train wreck, at least since your teenage years. I refer you to Barbara O'Hare's latest video, and your disclosures to me, your disclosures to Barbara, and Callie Diamond does speak some truth in amongst the addiction, and when she does, it's powerful. And I think she spoke some truth with regard to you and Sean Atwood and sex parties and drunken sexual depravity. Just to point out as well that your name was Sharon Swiston, according to your PayPal. I don't know what your married name was, but it wasn't Gale, so I don't know where Gale comes from, whether it's invented. I know you also referred in live streams, which you always delete, that you'd been arrested twice, I think once in Bahrain, once in Turkey, on suspicion of espionage, international espionage. And you talked about another trip in Libya where a British corporation, on your return, tried to elicit all the information from you. So again, grow up. I don't know, I'm close to giving up on you, but just take my name out of your mouth. And if you don't, you're going to find that the truth-telling will go deeper, you know, and justice for baby Charlotte may not need her poor little body being exhumed. There may be enough evidence in the autopsy and the judge's declaration, which you've never contested. If you went after the judge for saying there is no doubt whatsoever this baby has been abused, if you went after him with half the passion that you go after Nikki and T, you know, if it wasn't true, maybe you could have got that removed from the record. So that's enough on that for now, I think. Archives of Truth, I've talked about that. Just uploading precious information, not just my information. We've had somebody in a different country supply us with 60 plus videos of Hampstead archives, a lot of which had been scrubbed from the internet, and also now somebody else has come forward with a playlist. So it's time for justice, people. Baron David Ward, yeah, I tried to do a reconnect with David Ward. He took a 2-month sabbatical from burnout, which I might do myself, to do some writing, to regroup, and I really do feel like I need to maybe sometimes step back from the sort of bigger picture, which is the thing I function most in, and get back down to the nitty-gritty of what's going on in my life that could be addressed powerfully and make a difference, you know. And so the book writing project, for my own story, which is so hard to tell when you've you know, all the programming, all the drugging and all the trauma is designed to have you not ever cogently and coherently disclose in written book form. That's why I take my hat off to people like Barbara O'Hare, who have actually documented the nightmare, you know, that some of us endured. Colleen Black, I need to get back to you. The artist of the 2 paintings in the background. This one is called Soul Sisters. It reminds me of myself and my dead sister Fiona. We were 11 months apart and very close. And this one reminds me of my daughter and my grandchildren on the beach in Lanzarote. A mother and her children, just beautiful. So Colleen, and so I just don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I know that art, and particularly modern art, is a huge front for child trafficking. We think James Alefantis, we think, what was the name of it? Pergamus, what was the name of that art gallery that Titus Frost went and staked out? Anyway, we think so many, you know, there are so many occult supposed artists, Marina Abramovic, you know, there's so many. Check out Nikki Cooper on Facebook, or Tiana's YouTube, now that Nikki's YouTube has been crashed by Sharon Gale, which I think is You know, if you're going to self-destruct, that's your choice. But when you start destroying people around you, good people doing good work, not okay. Not okay. So yes, I'm just saying, Colleen, I need to get back to, she donated art, she's passionate, and she's one of the good guys. So we can't condemn all art, because art has been used as a front for child trafficking and money laundering. And then I think the President Trump, Joe Biden drama, psyop, Armageddon, apocalyptical, biblical goings on are definitely worthy of another video, and probably on BitChute, for fear of censorship, which is, and fear is not a good word, fear is the mind killer. So there's lots of lead-ins and more work to do, but this is just a brief update for January 2021. For those that lost track of me on Facebook, no, I didn't block you, I got nuked. Even on YouTube, yeah, and somebody commented, I'm sure your numbers are suppressed. Of course they are. Of course they are. And if I can revisit each of these issues that I've briefly addressed, I will. And if not, keep doing what you're doing. I'm so grateful for my assistant. He's so grateful for people now starting to come alongside him. That we need to multiply, multiply, multiply. We need to get organised in a, you know, starting from the heart, and let it come outwards, and let it not be about the cult of personality of anybody. You know, we shall know the truth, and the truth will set us free. I'm also doing a Bible study with Angie. The best way to access my work in an organised way is go to playlists, and equally on Archives of Truth, for which I'll share a link below. So if you can contribute, great. If you can't, we still keep doing what we do, and somehow God provides. But you know, the ones that do support, even just to cover, that's all it does. It covers internet and Zoom Professional and website and security software and the occasional upgrade. You know, nobody's making Sean Atwood kind of bucks in this corner of the internet. So yeah, BitChute, Twitter, Facebook I'm keeping mostly now, just non-political, you know, but Twitter, YouTube, BitChute, and my blog, angelascaches.org. Do subscribe there. Don't, you know, it is turning out to be that we need to keep track of, otherwise we will just start hearing the same as the mainstream media, and we'll start being subjected to a whitewash and a cover-up all over again, or at a level that hasn't been seen, you know, to be honest. Anyway, no more rambling. God bless, and you know, look out for each other, and look out for yourself. It's not an easy time right now, so be good to yourself. You're worth it. Jesus loves us. Bye.